Hi, it's Natalie Elphinstone here. I'm one of the creative team members of Studio Calico, and today I wanted to share my excitement about one of the exclusive new products that you will find if you have managed to score yourself a Camelot Scrapbooking kit, and that's the Mr. Huey's Ink Dauber in Spring Sky colour. It's a lovely blue. I wanted to share a quick few techniques that you can use this for. When you unscrew it, you'll see that on the top is this little sponge, and that automatically tells you one quick and simple thing you can do, and that's just simply press it down on your paper and create dots. Now you can make a whole pattern of dots. If you wanted to get a little bit more arty, you might want to create some splatters. Let me show you how I made splatters. Turn it upside down, gently squeeze until the foam pad is nice and juicy, and then slam it. And if first you just get a puddle like that, just slam it again. Haha, now you've got a splatter. You might want to protect your surrounding area, but more mess equals more fun, I say. So create a puddle, then splatter. Squeeze, make a puddle, splatter. And you can see that I've used this technique in my layout here, all here in the background. I've used this to try and sort of mimic the bubbles that are in my photo here. But I've got a nice pattern of just plain dots and also some splattery dots. Okay, technique number 2 is that you can create some background work. Whenever you're using a watercolor ink on paper, you find that it's much better if you put some gesso down first, because it just protects it from absorbing into the paper. Okay, so I've already put some gesso down on this paper, and all you want to do to create a bit of a background is, again, squeeze, make a puddle, you know, paint. You could get your paintbrush into it instead. You can do some extra splatters. Is how I like to do extra splatters. Get yourself an acrylic ink block and splatter like this. Okay, spreads it out. You can clean that off later, and then when it's dry you'll be able to use that as some background, you know, for putting a photo on. Nice and simple. Okay, technique number 3 is to create some journal lines. You can see on my layout here that I've used it for my journal lines all down here. And one way of making it nice and even is to grab some washi tape, doesn't matter what, and block out where you want your lines to be. Okay. And then, easy. Draw some lines, doesn't matter if they're straight, and then you'll find that when you peel off the washi tape, you've got a nice edge. Okay, and that will just control where you want your journaling to go. Technique number 4 is that you can write words. So, very simple. Here's one I've already done, it's nice and dry. Again, turn it upside down, gently squeeze, just so that it's nice and full at the tip here, okay? And then it's very easy to just write your word. You want to create some pressure as you're going along with your word, so continue to gently squeeze. And then once it's dry, if you wanted to add a little bit more colour and dimension, I'm just using a Neo Colour crayon here. Add some highlights. And then these are water soluble, so grab a paintbrush, dip it in some water. And this is just creating a bit more of a shadow effect. And you can create your word on some scrap paper so that you can sort of practice instead of going straight onto your layout. And when this is dry, then you can cut it out. You can do an outline once it's dry to just give it a bit more dimension. And you can see that I've used that on my layout here. So this word love down here was just created on some of the Studio Calico grid paper. Drew my word, did some of my Neocolor highlights there, drew around it with my felt tip pen, and then cut it out. And that way you can be happy with what you end up putting on your layout. And technique number 5, very simple. You just use it to colour in some wood veneer pieces. So we got some wood veneer. This comes in the Excalibur add-on, and this is very pretty just by itself, but if you wanted to add some of this lovely spring sky colour to it, very simple, colour it in. Okay, when that's all coloured, you can see that it's quick and simple, and that will just go back on there, and now it's lovely and blue. Okay, so I hope that gives you some ideas of what you can do with your ink dauber. Don't forget to visit studiocalico.com for more inspiration. Thanks for joining with me today.